Hey, hey girl, have you been naughty? I don't turn away from me! Oh!
Good morning! The time has come to put away the pumpkins, the decorative pillows, the cobwebs, and worst of all, the pumpkin spice. Ah! Because now it's peppermint. Everything is peppermint. I'm not broken up about it, you are. This week we are creating Krampus. This week's project is inspired by 1950s pinups, along with different designs from German and Scandinavian fashion back in like the 1600s, 1800s. I'm just bouncing between eras and seeing what I like for this. It's not going to be exact. This isn't a historical fit. I'm kind of just whipping up some stuff and Frankensteining them together and seeing how I like it. Jessica? For this outfit, did I have a stroke? For this outfit this week, I'm going to be making a bodice. I'm going to be altering a pair of shorts that I picked up from the thrift store to then layer some little skirt panels on top of it, so it's going to be a skirt. And on top of that, we're going to have a half skirt, kind of. I don't know what you would really call this. I'm still pretty new to all the names of things. Of course, in this design, I want to include things like the bells, the horns, and the birch branch. And, of course, a Krampus mask. For the bodice, I, yet again, am going to be making my own pattern because I could not for the life of me find a pattern that matched exactly what I had in my brain. So I'm going to go with a Variety vest that I have, which actually is pretty freaking close to the design I want. It even has the little lapels. Guys, someone send me a sewing dictionary. I can't with words. So I've got the design here. This is scary close to the back of the skirt, but it won't match the red material I already have. I don't think I'm gonna pick that out. Guys, it's moss. It's freaking moss. Oh my god. Yes. I'm already planning in advance for the 5th project, and I found moss. I am very happy.
Hey, hey girl, have you been naughty? I don't turn away from me! Oh!
Oker got the mock-up right here. I cut some off the middle pieces, and I might cut a little bit extra to kind of give it that like V shape that I want. I have this modesty panel from a corset that a supporter bought me a little while ago, so I'll use that as reference for the shape. There we go, boop boop, and then those will go over. They'll be a little flappy, and then I'll have the little slots on the sides, the little hooks on the sides, so the chain can go around and tighten it. And yeah, and then I'll have a zipper down the middle there, and then we'll just adjust from there. See how tight it is. Cool.
I shouldn't care if you're here or you're there, but I do. You know I do. I know you love to flit around while I just sit around and wonder what's become of you. I know that
And after all of my corset making, I finally decided to learn how to create clean straps. Sew along the outer edges of your top, but be sure to leave the ends of the straps open so you can tuck one side into the other. Iron them both, stitch them together, and voila! This was such a satisfying part of the process.
I keep saying and I keep praying that I'll forget you somehow.
And the little flaps we made for the sides and back, you just tuck them in. Boom, they're done. That was pretty quick. I was surprised.
Out romancing with those you care about now. Do you think of days?
I didn't want to go overboard with boning or anything, so instead I'm going to go overboard with something else. And upon extensive research or doom scrolling on Pinterest, I came across what was called cording. Over here. Instead of creating channels for boning, I'm going to create channels for yarn. And it's going to create this little bumpy effect. But I really like how this turned out. You can see That bumpiness is the yarn. It's so cool. And now an actual tutorial. Get your yarn on your needle. So what you want to do is go onto the back. You can take your seam ripper or little scissors. I really need to get a pair of tiny scissors. But I'm going to go to the end of a channel that I created. I'm going to just seam rip just the back layer like that. Other side. Now, take our thread, guide the needle through, making sure to not poke it. Takes a few turns, few tries. The more intricate this is, the harder it is. So I'm thinking I may have to get a needle that has kind of a curve to it if I want to do more stuff like this in the future. But for now, this is working pretty okay. Come on, get it through. Okay, come on. Yeah, and then you can just pull it. So I'm going to pull it till it gets to the very end of the thread. Pull a little bit here. Now make sure that it's taut. Make sure there's no bunching or anything. And then, ta-da! Look at that. I think I might redo this one. If anything, the channel might just be a little too big. That's why it looks like that. So maybe not. But there we go. Isn't that freaking cool?
Wonder what's become of you. I know that
Quick tip, because I just did it and I feel dumb. Be very careful when you're pulling the yarn on one side, because I pulled and it went doop and I accidentally pulled the one next to it all the way out and had to redo it. So be careful with that. Apart from that, this is probably one of the most satisfying things I've ever done in sewing or cosplay. I mean, look at that. Oh, yeah, baby. It's just so cool. I can't wait to see what the design really looks like when it pops. For the middle of the top, I created a separate panel in 2 pieces so the zipper could be sewn along the center of it. I also made sure to add a bit of interfacing on the inside of the 2 layers. Okie dokie. Got the vest on the mannequin. I put it on myself and measured where I wanted it with my waist and my chest, since this is a zipper and not a corset, which I like corsets because they're so customizable and I can alter them whenever I want just by cinching it a little bit more. But I want this to be nice and snug. I've got the panels here. This right here I left on the side so that I could just kind of fit it in and then sew along this edge. It's looking pretty parade-esque. When I was a young boy, my father...
telling me you love me, it gives me such a thrill. I know it always will.
So I've got the shorts here. I know that these go up pretty high. So I made these extra long. That way when I cut them out and do everything, I can, you know, sit there and go boop, 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 fold, and make it as short or long as I want. This is the front piece. Here is the side panel, question mark. I am referencing my boxing shorts. Alright, pen works now. So cool.
You will always be my necessity. I'd be lost without you. Most girls have love tales.
Look, we're gonna just ignore that I was about to create bias tape for 11 panels, and we're just gonna go with the lace trim. I like that idea a lot more, and it still might be kind of wonky, so we'll see how that goes too. But I'm just not gonna do, I'm not doing the bias tape. Put it in a box and ignore it. Ignore it. Gonna take this little beezy, stick it here, and then we're gonna just iron this on, and I'm gonna spend a century creating all the other panels like that. As I tend to say in a lot of these videos, learn from me. Mock-ups don't always have to mean just cutting something out and putting it together, sewing it, seeing how it looks. Create a mock-up with your brain from like testing things out. Like seeing whether or not a material you're going to use is actually synthetic and it's going to melt when you iron it. Stuff like that. I didn't do, and now I'm learning from my mistakes. So now I'm just going to go over all of this, paint it black as quickly as possible. I don't have enough of these little beesies. I'm glad I ordered 2 packs. Yep. More thing! I used this gold paint here. This paint. To paint, need to add some more coats. The little silver thingy-majiggers. Gold. And it turned out nice. I thought the paint would stay on top and would kind of like take away from the shine of the metal, but it didn't. It actually looks really, really nice. So it matches these. Creating videos for YouTube has definitely opened my eyes to how hard it is for me to talk. And I'm already the friend who, when we're all hanging out, I really prefer to kind of just be the person who's sitting there. Everybody talks, they have their conversation, and I'll add something to the conversation, and then I'll just sit there and listen, and I'm really comfortable doing that. I never like to be in the center of attention. Like, it's weird to me when I'm talking for like a long length of time and people are just sitting there staring at me and listening, because that's what you do when someone's telling a story, like a human. But I don't like it. It makes me feel weird to just sit there and have everybody like, yes. That's the thought. That's the brain thought for the day. I have finished the top skirt. I just sewed along the top here. The inside doesn't look fantastic, but took a piece of ribbon, just sewed along the edge so that go like this. Wrap it around. I'll show you. You can definitely wear this in other projects and photo shoots. Yeah, I think that's pretty.
Red's References presents Quinn and Bloom. The young girl who had nothing left to lose wandered deep into the woods in search for help. Having nothing with her but her late mother's pearls, she sought the assistance of the Fae. Her world was in shambles and in desperate need of reform, a change that could only come in the shape of a new life. When reaching the edge of the forest, she called out to the Fae. Her cries were quickly answered by a grinning spirit whose intentions were unknown. The woman cried and begged for a life she so desperately wanted. She pleaded for the Fae to help. She told the Fae that she had nothing to leave behind. The only thing she had left was her mother's pearl necklace that she gripped in her hands. Seeing this made the Fae laugh. There was nothing that a creature of the woods needed with the objects of the mortal world. She would gladly take the girl. The Fae only needed her to prove her desire to join their world. The Fae pulled out the horns of her own kind and offered them to the girl. "You must look the part before you can leave," she said, her head bowed low. In an instant, horns had sprung from her head, and she had become a spirit herself. But before their transaction was done, the Fae had the most important bit of information to tell her. The exchanging of these horns comes with a discount code. Using the Fae's code, Red's Revelry, you can get 15% off horns only, valid for the month of December. Quinn and Bloom are offering a limited stock, so be sure to head to quinnandbloom.com before their made-to-order slots run out.
Got the top of the mask right down the front and the sides. It's luxurious. Big tubbo foam. I've got this mask, which I'm going to be cutting up a little bit because I want my Krampus to have more of a flat nose. Weirdly, like this portion of the mask fits perfectly to my face. This goes right into my chin. But I think this is a really good base, and since I'm not going to be talking or anything, I will probably have to cut this out since I want to have a big old tongue and everything. I also have these plastic cups I'm going to use for the horns.
like my old tutorial from when I was a teenager. Over here, basically you just take it, you glue it down, and then it'll kind of boop, 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 become that shape. Cut them up, bend them, move them around. Do all that. It's easier than just using tinfoil the whole time. At least I think it is. I think using a ton of tinfoil and trying to make it match on either side is kind of a pain in the ass. So do it this way. Add the tinfoil in specific places so you can kind of create the shape you want. And it's just easier. I mean, I've only done it once. I think I've done it like twice. But this is the real second time that I'm doing it. Words. Give you a top-down shot. Might be some more Speedy Speedersons going on. Because I have a hard time working and talking. This is for the boys. Ugh. Well, this is looking, vaguely familiar. Spider-Man! God, my nose pushes it out so far. Oh, just, like, put that directly in my nostril. Keep doing it. Oh yeah, that's gonna be good. Took the wire, put 2 pieces of wire on the bottom, taped it. Now I can just kind of morph it. Send it to my will. I'll see about covering it up on the top jaw with some teeth. I actually I went to one of my vintage thrift stores the other day and ran into one of the owners of the booths that I go to inside of it. Crazy nice. I told her that I've purchased a few things from her corner. It's my favorite in the shop. And she just started handing me stuff. She's like, well, here, you're a seamstress. Here's this and this and this. And she's like, here, you need lace for your project? Here's some lace. And one of the things she gave me was this fabric that has a ton of like, these little pointy things. But thinking if I take some of them off, it looks like a tooth. Oh my god, I feel like Panic at the Disco. It looks so cool!
Another shout out to the super nice vintage store lady. These were perfect for his teeth. For the hood, I cut out his hairline that I then glued down before painting. I used the scraps of hair for things like his eyebrows. They were very, very Rickish. I think giving him a bit of blush and some freckles really helped to bring the character to life. Final touches were made with the ropes and bells, and finally, we have the reveal.
Freezing. I'm really, really cold. I glued the bells so they wouldn't do that when I wore it, but it came off. But stop it! He's done!
My favorite part of these crafts so far has been the sculpting and making props and masks and little creatures and everything. I really like the sewing. I mean, this is freaking awesome. I think this will look super freaking cute with like a white blouse under it. And it's got the little bows and everything. Ah! I'm also happy I got to do a Christmas thing that was spooky. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's probably a little more chaotic than it would have been if I had known what the hex I was doing the entire time. I like to show my mistakes. I like to record the whole journey and the process and everything so people can learn from me. But it gets to be a little too much, and I didn't want this video to be super long and boring. If you are going to make your own Krampus mask, please send me the photos. Tag me on Instagram. Here's my info right here. I want to know what you guys are doing for Christmas or the spooky Christmas, as I am going to be doing for the rest of my life. And know that I appreciate you more than I can properly articulate. It's why I sound like a freaking lunatic all the time, because I can't get the words out. I have a hard time expressing my appreciation, but I love you guys. I love that you're here. I never thought people would see my art or my work ever. I spent years and years not having people see my work, so this is very new to me, and I am taking full advantage of it. I just want to keep making you guys content that you will enjoy, because it makes me so happy to make it. So thank you for being here. I appreciate you so gosh darn much. Look forward to the next video. The next project is going to be even bigger. If not, it's going to be a little tiny project. I have some smaller projects in mind just so I can give myself a bit of a break, because work has been a lot, and the gym is slowly being built too now. I'm hoping it'll be done by the end of December if everything goes really, really well. Perfect well, which it never does. But thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed already, I request that you do, please. I will make more whimsical content and more things that can haunt your dreams. Have a great holiday season. Happy spooky Christmas times. I'll catch you guys in the next video.